Hi everybody, I'm Heather.
Hi, Deborah.
And we are all Tangled Up Utah. And we're in COVID.
Yeah.
And we're here.
And we're tired of it.
After 7 long months. It has actually been 37 weeks since we have podcasted. I counted it.
Oh my gosh.
And a lot has gone on.
So much has happened in 7 months. It's unbelievable. That's probably why it doesn't feel like it's been 7 months.
Yeah, it's been a whirlwind. So Deborah and I...
Well, first of all, our scenery's changed.
Yeah, we're outside.
Yeah.
We're enjoying the beautiful fall weather.
Yes, it's beautiful.
What was I going to say? I was going to say...
I thought you were going to say what I thought you were going to say.
Well, I was going to say, I hope everybody is safe. I don't know if that's what I was going to say, but I hope everybody is safe. I hope everybody is washing your hands, wearing a mask.
Don't touch your face.
Yep. Deborah and I have been very good and diligent about that, so we're both pretty much home, and when we go out, we wear masks. So I think last week I was up in Heber Grooming. I was in Heber Grooming, which I will talk about in more detail, but it's been a week, so I think we're safe to not wear masks.
Well, and I can't drink my tea.
Yeah, so...
And you're here.
Yeah.
We're together a lot. So.
Well, and I came over Tuesday, but Tuesday had only been a few days since I had been out of, away, and so I needed to...
And I was so appreciative of that because... I really was. I meant to tell you that I really appreciated you wearing your mask the whole time you were here like that.
I try. I try whenever I, am changing my normal out of my house. I try to be responsible.
I think that you are probably better at it than anyone I know. I, in my head, plan to be and want to be, but I'm the person that walks into the store and goes, oh, I forgot my mask, and I'm running back to my car, and it's just because it's not because I don't know. I just, my brain goes to other places, and I'm not thinking, and you're more task-oriented that way.
Yeah, I guess. So this is, it has been a long time, so I anticipate this to be a very long video. It may be broken up into 2 parts. I'm anticipating that this very first part may be just kind of catching up on what life has been, and maybe not a whole lot of knitting. So if you're really into just the knitting content, knitting, crocheting, yarning things, may not be the video, but if you want to catch up with us and find out what we've been up to, because it's been a lot, people.
It's been a lot, people. It's probably been more
unbelievable
than I've ever done in the last 8 months.
Ever?
Yeah. Well, no. I mean, like in a year's time, more things have happened in the last 8 months than any other year I can ever remember, aside from COVID.
Yeah, right, exactly. I mean, this has been such a strange year. So I guess I'll jump into it. I have been trying to purchase a house for 3 years. And it's been a long, painful process. And basically, a year and a half ago, so a year ago spring, I was trying and pursuing my last hope and last chance of a home. And it was a home that was down the street from a friend of ours, Severine. She was able to... she saw it when the sign went up, so I was the first to call on it, the first to see it, the first to put in a full offer. And they had 8 offers in 12 hours, and they asked us all to write letters. So our knitting friend Jan wrote a letter, my friend in Chicago wrote a letter on my behalf, and then of course I put a letter in myself as to why I wanted the house. And I lost out. And everything happens for a reason, but at that point I had to really start facing reality, and that I was no longer able to afford Heber Valley, and which sucked, because I moved there specifically to start a business because the area was affordable when I had looked at it. And so I started to look, well, where else in Utah would I be willing to live? And I still wanted to be able to ski, and there's 2 ski resorts down south. One of them is in a town called Beaver, and quite frankly, I can't live in a town named Beaver. Where are you from? Beaver. I can't. They sell bumper stickers, coffee mugs, the whole works. I heart Beaver. So if anybody out there really wants one, just let me know. I can get it for you. But then the other town was a little town called Parowan, and it was at the mouth of the canyon that goes to Brian Head Ski Resort. So last summer, came down, checked out the area, looked at some houses, and I said I can live there. So basically for nearly a year, probably about 10 months, was looking at various houses. I was under contract under various houses, and I've never said anything while we were podcasting because I'm self-employed, and it was a freaking pain in the as to get a freaking mortgage approved for myself, and everything just kept falling through. So
I kept telling her, there's a reason. There's something. Just
out
be
there,
patient.
right?
There's something out there. Just be patient. This will happen.
Yeah. And so I kept looking, and of course I want something small, and which nobody makes anything small anymore. And there was one house that I liked, and I had some friends that were looking at the area, Claudia and Corey, and I was like, hey, you guys, you might really like this house. And they were like, oh, yeah, maybe. And, and so my friend Laura's like, Heather, you keep trying to get everybody else to buy this one house. Why don't you buy it? And I'm like, but it's 3 bedrooms. I don't want 3. Yeah, I did try to make Deborah buy it. And I said, it's 3 bedrooms. I don't want 3 bedrooms. I just, but anyway, long story short, I did put in an offer. The city gave me permission to work from the house. So I converted the 3rd bedroom so I could logically in my head accept the fact that it was bigger than I wanted, but 1 bedroom, so it was more like a 2-bedroom house. So that offer got put in pretty shortly after we last podcast.
Yeah.
And in the process, then I sold my business, which was scary to do in COVID. I mean, there was a part of me that was on the fence about it, and I was like, well, maybe I should wait and, just pay the mortgage on the house in Parowan and stay in Heber and just wait and see what this COVID, thing's going to be and what kind of, and I just finally was like, you know what? It's all falling into place. I'm just going to trust it. So I sold the business, which was hard to do, but they don't groom cats, so I kept my cat clients, which is hence why I'm going back to Heber every 6 weeks. I groom cats every 6 weeks out of a friend's shop. But anyway, so I bought a house, finally. I bought a stinking house.
And it is such a cute house. It's so you.
Yeah.
It really is. She still doesn't see it, but
no,
I do.
I don't fully see it yet. But my focus has been on, it was a brand new house, which I didn't mention, so I do feel very blessed with that. But, I had to rip out brand new carpeting to put in laminate flooring, which I installed myself. I did, a lot of the construction myself, but it was good. I mean, it was...
Yeah, the shop turned out really nice. I was very impressed. It was perfect. I mean, honestly, the way you pull into the property is right there where the shop is. It was like, it was just meant to be. It was perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So I'm still...
And it's in a great location for your customers.
Yes.
It really,
right on the main street.
Yeah.
And...
it really... You couldn't have asked for a better...
Yeah, so in the process of looking at Parowan, I convinced my best friend from Chicago to look at it because her parents live in St. George, and so St. George is about an hour away from Parowan. And so when she was out visiting her parents last August, remember when I went to Nevada and I went with my best friend, and then I left them in Nevada, they went to St. George to see her parents. They came up to Parowan that weekend and checked it out. They went and looked at one of the properties. Laura put an offer in on it, and they've owned a home here in Parowan since last October. A year.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Over a year. I think it was the
Wow.
beginning, like maybe the 10th or 7th or something like that of October last year, they bought that house. And so July, right before the 4th of July, they moved out to Parowan, which was really exciting.
We came down to look at Heather's place and kind of look at the area in what was it, December?
It was,
I think it was
like
December.
winter. Yeah,
it was winter.
It was winter.
Yeah, it was winter because when we came down, I'm like,
They didn't like it.
I didn't like it because, well, it wasn't that I didn't like it. It's just I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Well, everything was dead, and it was, I don't know. I just didn't see anything I liked, but we just kind of kept looking. And then when Heather got moved in,
You came down.
I came down
that first
May.
weekend, that Thursday.
Yeah, right after you moved.
I think
in.
I moved Tuesday. I think I got the truck initially, and I got it loaded. And oh my God, Deborah came to my saving grace. I hired loaders. I got a U-Haul, and they loaded it up. And I had been, I worked up until May 1st, so I had like 4 or 5 days to kind of finalize packing, and oh my gosh, and I was so exhausted. I was so tired. And I'm like, okay, after the movers left, I'm like, maybe I'll just lay here for a minute. And I laid down on the ground. I swear, all of the muscles in my body seized up, and I couldn't get off the floor. She's knocking on my door. I didn't know it was her, because I think I said something like, if anybody can help, or I don't remember what I said, but Deborah just came over. She just logged out of work, said, I'm taking the rest of the day off. And by the time she's like, I know she's here.
Her car was there. Dakota was in there barking.
Yeah.
I thought, okay, she's in the shower.
Yeah.
I'll just hang on.
My body, all the muscles had totally just seized up, and I couldn't get off the floor. And it took, I swear, 20 minutes to get off the floor and to get to the door. And I
think you opened it and you were on the floor.
I don't know. Or I was just so hunched over. Yeah. Oh man, she was a saving grace, because I still had, when you move, you got all that stuff, that last minute stuff, and just stuff you were like, oh, I can just throw that in the box. It's no big deal.
It's a big deal.
Yeah. I mean, you saved my life that day, because
I was happy to do it.
Yeah. And I was able to switch my unloading from the morning to the afternoon, because, oh my gosh, if I had to drive down that night, I don't know if I could have done it. I don't think I could have. So I went and got an air mattress, and which I needed a new one for camping anyway.
I kept thinking, she doesn't want to leave. She's not going to go, because it's like, have you left yet? No. Heather, it's 6 o'clock. Have you left yet? No.
Yeah.
And then about 8 o'clock, I'm going to leave in the morning. I'm like, are you really going to leave? Are you having second thoughts? Because she just wasn't going.
I was so tired. And so went and got a new air mattress, which I needed a new one for camping anyway. And I just slept and got up early, went down, and yeah.
So it was about a week later that I came down to visit.
Was it, or was it just a few days?
Oh, it might have only been a few days.
I don't know, but it was so long ago, but yet it was yesterday.
I came down and I got off a different exit. Parowan is 3 hours from Heber.
Yeah.
And there's 2 exits into the town. And I got off the different exit than I did the first time, which was like the main part of town. And I was driving down Main Street, and I was like, oh my gosh, this place is adorable. I love it here. This is the cutest Main Street I have ever seen. All the trees. So we were still looking online, and we couldn't find anything. Not a lot for sale down here. I got permission from my employer. I work at home, so I got permission from my employer to just that I could work no matter where I moved in the state of Utah. My husband and I were also looking for homes in Evanston. Heber became very expensive, like
it's ridiculous.
Outrageously expensive. Tax-wise, it's everything, and extremely overcrowded. That's not what we signed up for when we moved there. We wanted to live in a small town, and it has just blown up since COVID and all the fires. We're getting a lot of people from California and
Yeah.
Vegas moving in there, and it was just not where we wanted to be anymore. So we just kept looking. I got really sick during the summer.
Yes, you
I
did.
was in the emergency room sometimes 3 times a week.
Yeah, it was bad. It was
It's all
scary.
good. I'm fine.
All's
It
rectified
was,
now, but
yeah.
oh my gosh,
nothing
at the time-
serious. Nothing serious. It was an easy fix. It was just hard to figure out, but it's all good. So one of the days I was in the hospital, I was looking through my phone, and this property.
It was a Saturday.
Yeah, it was.
You were waiting to check out,
Yeah.
to get discharged.
Yep, a property popped up, and the yard was just like. And that was my big thing about moving, is I didn't want to start over with a yard. I wanted to have, mature trees. Our trees weren't very mature because we had only been in our
You
house.
kept saying that was one of the reasons
Yeah.
why you didn't like the house I bought, was because you were like,
There were no
I don't want it.
trees.
There's no landscaping.
Yeah, I don't want to do it. So I called. This house popped up, and it was a little more than we wanted to spend, but I thought it would be okay. So I called my husband. I texted him, and I said, "New house in Parowan, I want." And he said, "I'm looking at it right now. I want it too." Well, we had been trying to get down here to look at some other homes that we thought we could fix up.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because the
But we could-
Thursday before,
yeah.
I had gone with Cindy
Yeah.
to go around to those houses and video them, and I was sitting there working on trying to put videos together to send to you so you could see what we went and looked at. When you were like,
That's right.
you texted and you were like, "There's a new house on the market."
Well, and had we didn't, the reason that we didn't come down is because I was in the hospital
Yeah.
again. Because I think I was in the hospital on Wednesday, got out on Thursday, and I was back in on Friday and got out again on Saturday. So we had to keep pushing our time to come down. But we had our eye on a couple of houses that needed a lot of work, but we were willing to do it because we had made the decision we wanted to do this.
And they were some of them were decent priced.
They were
still
very
had,
decent
you had
priced.
room where you could
Make
improvements. Granted, you
Right.
would have had to live
It would have
through
been
the
tough.
improvements, but yeah.
It would have been a big remodels, but there was we would have had enough to be able to do all of that. So we came down Monday morning to see this house. We were the first people to look at it. It went on, which was weird because it went on the market late Saturday afternoon, so it really didn't give anybody time. It just went on the market when we were looking at it. And so nobody looks at houses on Sunday here. So we were down here first thing Monday morning, walked into the house and made an offer immediately. And it was accepted.
And we were talking all in the spring, how are we going to do this podcast?
Yep.
After you move, Heather, are we going to Zoom, or maybe we'll do it when you come up every 6 weeks? Like, how are we, and yeah.
So all of this, we make this offer on the house, and I'm feeling a little bit better, and I go back to work. It's about 2 days after we made the offer, and it was accepted, and things were good. And I went to work, and like I said, I work at home, and I sat down at my desk, and I was just like, I can't do this. I can't do this job anymore. I'm done. I'm just done. I'm just done. And I had almost 31 years. I could have retired a year ago, and I just picked up the phone, called our HR department, and said, "What do I got to do to retire?" And I had been so sick, and I had missed so much work, and mentally and physically, because I was so dehydrated, I just needed to have a rest. And so my doctor wanted me off work for the rest of the month, and when my leave ran out, it was my last day. So I retired.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy.
So,
And packed
so much
and
of
moved.
so much of America has been hunkered down due to this pandemic, and we're packing up and moving, and
It was nuts. And
Yeah.
when you said you didn't get here, it was so late by the time you got out of your house and you got down here.
They
We
left.
got down here at 1:00 in the morning.
I was
We
petrified.
Left, yeah, we left at 10.
I think I spoke to you the last, not all the way from Beaver, but maybe Beaver. The last maybe 30, 45
Yeah.
minutes, I talked to you on the phone.
Which
and
I was so surprised because you don't stay up that late.
No, I was so nervous because I knew how I felt. I knew how I felt the day when my truck got loaded. and how physically
So
exhausted
exhausting.
I
Well, and
was.
we had all of our neighbors who were very close to over to our house, helping us pack, cleaning my house. Everybody's crying. It was so emotional.
Yeah.
My kids were there. They were crying. And my husband drove the U-Haul down, and I drove our car and pulled a trailer, which I've never done. Mind you, I've never pulled a trailer loaded down with stuff in the dark, no less.
Yeah.
Heather taught me through, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. it was good.
Why I was just laughing was she's talking about friends coming over and helping. I just had visions of you at my door with the mask and rubber gloves on, because it was such the beginning
It
of
was.
COVID.
Yeah.
And I mean, not that we really aren't being any different now, but it was almost like she was in full on hazmat
Yeah.
suit. Because we just, we're so
It's
new
unknown.
to us.
Yeah,
and
it's unknown.
yeah, can it live on a surface? At that point it was still really questionable. And so anyway,
Helen,
sorry,
it
I had
was-
that image in my head all of a sudden. It just made me giggle.
We're traveling down here, going down the canyon, and my husband's in the U-Haul, and we had the animal situation all figured out what we were going to do, and we changed it the last minute. So he had the dog, and I had the cats in the car, and we're coming down the mountain, and he got way behind me, and I was kind of getting worried about him, and he calls and he says, "We have to pull over. Lottie's having a breakdown." And I'm like, okay. So I'm thinking the dog is like whining and crying and whatever. So I pull over. He pulls over behind me. So I get out and I go look, and here he is in the U-Haul, and he is like this, and the dog the dog is behind him. Now, this is a big dog. She weighs like 65 pounds. And she's behind him just crying. I'm like, oh my gosh, you didn't tell me that she was could cause hazards here.
Right.
Oh, so I traded him, and I took the dog, and he had the cats, and the cats were fine when they were with me. Oh my gosh, every time we'd call each other to check on each other and make sure everything was okay, all I could hear were these 3 cats. He had to drive 3 hours listening to those cats cry. And they were not crying in my car. The animals did not like the U-Haul.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, we got here.
And the sounds,
Yeah,
it must have been
from the
different.
truck.
Yeah, it must have
Yeah.
been different in that.
We got down here and realized, I had everything, like I had a box.
You
that
got
said-
down here at like 1 o'clock
Yeah.
in the morning.
And thank goodness I call Heather. We're almost here. And I'm like, Heather, I just realized that I had a box put aside with the dog, with the animals' food, litter box, some bedding, everything that we need for when we get down there that we're going to need. And somebody packed it on the truck.
Yeah.
We have no idea where it's at. No clue. So thanks to Heather, I did have the new litter box. I found that. So thanks to Heather, she brought over when we got to the house, there was a box of litter and blankets sitting on our porch so we could sleep. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And we're still unpacking. It's been a month today that we've been here.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So, but our new yard is
It's beautiful.
amazing. It's that's why I wanted the house. It wasn't
It's
the house, it was
really-
the yard. It's beautiful.
It is 0.35 acres.
No, it's a third of an acre.
That's 0.35.
Okay, you're right.
Yeah. I'm like
Yes.
0.3.
Yes, she's
Yes,
yeah, it's a
0.35.
third of an acre.
And I have a 1/4 acre. I mean, which I never, imagined that I would have. It's raw. But anyway,
We've done a lot of cute things, so it's going to be really cute.
it's little bit by little bit. I'm trying. The shop is now up. I'm operating. I'm pretty close, if not meeting my bills every month, which is, I think,
That's
fantastic
great.
since it's only been mid-June. I was hoping to open the 1st of June, but construction, just doing a lot of it on my own, it took a
You've
while.
done really
Plus,
well.
unpacking and
Well, and that's why I had to.
Oh.
Who was going to groom my little guy? and honestly, so there's so many changes. So I have 3 standard poodles, and I've always groomed them myself. Well, my new house doesn't have an area. I could make it have, but I don't want to. So, and now I just have my one. But
Yeah.
I was like, I'm just going to sell all of my stuff, and Heather's going to now groom my dog, which I'm really excited about. So,
hopefully. Hopefully you like what I do.
Oh
We'll
yeah,
see.
you know what? I'm sure you will do a beautiful job. I'm not at all worried about it. Your work is amazing.
Oh,
So yeah,
So,
so
yeah.
we're together again. And
So now we
don't
don't
have to Zoom. Or,
yeah, we don't have to figure,
Yeah.
and thank God we don't have to try to do it when I'm up in Heber grooming because
No, you couldn't. And I have.
I'm grooming like 17 cats in 3 days. It's like, or 3.5 days. It's insane.
And I'm retired now, so I can totally work around Heather's schedule. So we're back and
Yeah.
doing some knitting. Getting back into
Yeah,
that.
and I think that's the I mean, I wanted to get together a little quicker in the, this month, but you just moved in,
It's been insane.
and then I went up to Heber, and so
I've
we
never
had
been
to.
so busy.
We had to podcast today because I had promised one of our viewers that Deborah and I would podcast in October.
Yeah.
And it is the 31st.
Oh my gosh, that's right. We made it.
We made it. It won't be
Be up.
on YouTube, but we did it.
We made it.
So I stuck to my promise, Shaden.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Thanks for watching, Shade. I really appreciate you.
So, so that's kind of, I think we moved.
Yeah, both of us.
Yep. And
Crazy, and changes in not changes in your career, but changes and
Yeah.
major changes for me. Let me tell you, I am so loving retirement, but I'm like, how am I so busy? How did I have a job? I'm so busy. I don't sit down all
that's
day.
how my mother was
It's
said the same
insane.
thing.
But I
Yeah.
did. My husband used to was doing all the cooking, and I took over the cooking. We always had a deal. Whoever cooked, the other person cleaned up. And I'm not sure how this happened, but now the person that cooks is also the person that cleans up.
Oh, you know what? Now that you've moved, you know what I realized? I watched the last podcast, one to find out how long it's been and to see what in the world was I working on
Yeah,
and finishing
me too.
7 months ago. But I noticed all my sniffling and my allergies from the rabbit.
Oh, yeah.
We won't have that anymore because the rabbit went to your daughter when you moved.
I was afraid. I was.
I mean, I shouldn't wish the bunny like any
No.
ill will or,
But you're right. You're right. I was afraid that the bunny's 10 years old and 9 years old, and I was afraid he would not make the 3-hour trip.
Right.
I could not even imagine. And then I started hearing. I had a friend who said they had a chinchilla when they were a kid, and their family moved across town, and it couldn't handle the stress just going across town.
Wow.
So I was like, I can't. So Bunny's doing really well with my grandson. They love him. So yeah,
Good.
it was so hard to. It was hard to leave, but it was. I just love it here.
Yeah,
I
it's
love it
it's a
here.
nice little quaint little town with Main Street USA,
Yeah.
where you would pretty much imagine, and it's nice, and it's supposed to be, fingers crossed, supposed to be warmer here in the winter than Heber, and cooler here in the summer than Heber. So it's kind of like this little pocket of perfect weather.
Well, and the greatest thing about it is we are 1 hour from St. George, which is
Hot.
60s in the winter. So when we
If you get tired,
if we're just tired of which I know we will, because I always get tired of the snow and the cold.
need a break.
We have a little camp trailer, and
Yeah.
we can jump in our trailer and be in.
You can go to Zion National
Yeah.
Park. I mean, there's so much.
so many places so close to here.
Bryce Canyon is an hour
Yeah.
from where we live.
It's beautiful. And
It's unreal.
There's a ski resort. How far? 20 minutes from here?
It's 12 miles.
Okay, 12 miles.
12 miles. So it takes about
I've
20
never
minutes
been
to
there.
go up the canyon.
I've never been there. I've
You
lived
haven't
here for
been
a
there
month.
yet?
No.
Well, you have lived here for a month. Yeah, I mean.
But still,
Yeah.
I've not even left
Oh,
the
wow.
little bit of town. I haven't.
Gone to Cedar City.
No,
and
that's it. That's it. Which is so nice because Cedar City is, 15 minutes about?
Mm-hmm.
15 minutes away. No canyon to go through like we had to in Heber.
No, flat.
and
much.
there's everything you need there.
Yeah.
Everything. And we had a Walmart in Heber, but it was terrible. It was
Yeah.
terrible.
It's a very small.
It was awful.
I still don't even go to this Walmart, but
I do.
yeah.
I
mean,
in
I
fact,
did
after
to
not
get
having after
a
not
real
having
one.
a real Walmart for 8 years, I go in there and I'm like, ooh.
I tried grocery shopping there twice. I can't.
I can't grocery shop.
I
in
can't
Walmart.
grocery shop, but yeah,
No.
I should remember because I just
Yeah, I
wasn't in the
can't.
habit of shopping at Walmart in Heber. So
We just spend all our other money there. Like we went in there for some hooks to hang something on the wall and antifreeze and walked out with new bicycles. Which has been great. I love my bike. I love it. I'm like, oh, it's just too funny.
So that's been our crazy life and world for the last 7 months. And yeah,
We're just happy we're still together.
I know, I know. I'm so glad that we can do it in person
Yeah.
and not have to do the Zoom and
And now she
any
lives
other
even
options.
closer to me. I can ride my
Yes.
bike to her house.
This is true
and
because I used to live on the north end of Heber and you lived on the south
Yeah.
end of Heber.
Now we're just.
Yeah.
It's a little far
like-
to walk.
Yeah, it's
I could
a
do
mile
it.
or so, I would think.
About a mile and a half, maybe.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, she
Maybe
rode
2.
over the other day, deliver a piece of pie.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Pumpkin pie
Took my
with
new
her bike.
out on its maiden voyage.
Yes.
Can't talk today. Yeah, that was fun.
So
It's uphill. It looks flat. It's not
there-
flat.
and
it's uphill.
it's a beach cruiser, so there's no gears
Yeah.
on it.
It was
So
rough.
it's
It was rough, but it's good. I need it.
yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
good.
So thank you all. We're going to sign off now.
Happy
and-
Halloween, everyone.
Yes, happy Halloween. I hope you were safe and you were able to enjoy your Halloween however you chose to enjoy it. Just be safe and we'll see you guys on you can find me on Ravelry and Instagram at Shorty Pete.
And you can find me as the Dutchman's wife.
So we will see you guys next time with some knitting content. Bye. Lottie said goodbye.
I hope that got on camera because that was cute. To get back into the cooking thing and remembering how to time everything so that the table at the same time. Stop. Stop.
Shh, Dakota.
Stop. Stop. You're not going to podcast anymore if you don't stop. Do you want to go in the house? Shut up.
We're gonna leave that part in.
Good girl.
Maybe I'll get that first part out, and then we can do the second one together.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like the knitting content on
Heather,
the second.
did we check and make sure that there was a card in there when we started this?
Oh, motherfucker. Oh, motherfucker.
Oh,
I don't know why there
my
wouldn't be.
God, I don't either, but
Because I always, when I take the one out, it's in there.
that would have been horrible.
I would have shot you.
Me? God. Oh my gosh, that would have been so bad.
Oh, that would have sucked. No, it's in there. Thank goodness. Whew.
Yeah, I don't think we could have redid that.
Yeah.